SoundCloud. Here we go. Hi, welcome to another Cosmic Creator Coven Conversation with Lara Gagnon, who's Satya G Malas. She is a magical, mystical mala maker, a mommy, a yogi. We met back in 2017 at advanced yoga training, spent a month-long time in Maui together, and I think she's just super magical and super intentional. I'm wearing one of her malas right here. She specifically made it for me. I didn't even tell her what the name I wanted for it was, and she called it the Goddess Mala. And I'll dig into it a little bit later why that's super significant for me. But yes, Laura, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit more introduction into who you are and the beautiful cosmic way that you live your life.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. It is so good to be here talking to you and connecting with you. Thank you for having me. Well, I live in Kansas City, Kansas, and malas really have been a part of my life just in the past couple of years. My husband, when I met him, he was a yoga teacher and he was always wearing malas. So I started to notice them more when I met him back in 2013. And then I went to the Bikram yoga teacher training in LA in 2013. And after I became a yoga teacher, that's when I really started to notice malas more, just yoga teachers wearing mala, notice them wearing malas and other students wearing malas. And I just was attracted to them. I really didn't know what they meant or other than they're a beautiful piece of jewelry, but they're really powerful. They're very pretty, but they have a lot of power behind them, and they've been used for centuries in prayer and meditation. So it's really beautiful to use something like this to help claim whatever is lacking in your life or whatever you want to attract. So I know that you have used them and are using that one, and they're just really, really powerful. They're not religious, so I like that they can, like yoga, be for everyone. Um, Even kids have started to wear them, which is really beautiful.
Yeah. Can you just, for people watching this, can you just explain the different type or different parts of the mala itself so they can understand, the severe, like the object itself? So, because I feel like, everything's energy and we're energy at its most condensed form. And this object, this matter's energy at its most condensed form. And the energy that you and the intention that you put into this, like I can feel it. And when I first started to see you, working on it and sharing on it, your Instagram page, I could just literally feel across the miles all the intention, the energy, the power that you were infusing into these like quote unquote inanimate objects, but they're living objects themselves. But yeah, go ahead and explain just the parts of the mala itself and the beauty of each aspect of it. So yeah.
Yes, a traditional mala will have 108 beads. 108 has a lot of different meanings. One being God or higher truth. 0 is emptiness or completeness of your spiritual practice. 8 is infinity or eternity. Um, there's a lot of different meanings. Some of my other favorite ones, there's 12 houses and 9 planets. 12 times 9 is 108. The sacred river Ganges, this runs through the Himalayan mountains through India. The Ganges River lays at 12 longitude and 9 latitude, so 12 times 9 is 108. The Sanskrit alphabet has 54 male Shiva letters and 54 female Shakti, so 54 times 2, 108. The distance from the sun and the earth is 108 times the diameter of the sun. And the average distance from the moon to the earth is 108 times the diameter of the moon, so 108. So 108 has a lot of meaning. There's many more. So typically you'll have beads or seeds, sandalwood, rudraksha seeds that will be made with knots with a string, either nylon or cotton. Traditionally, you have a guru bead. So your guru bead is the wisdom, all the teachers that have come before you. And the tassel is cutting through the darkness and letting things go with the flow. Also practicing non-attachment. So they can be made of lots of different gemstones, lots of different beads that hold, this certain vibration that can help you with certain intentions to your life. They can be worn as a necklace, like you and I are wearing them. They can also be worn as a bracelet. They say to wear on the left side of your hand if you wear as a bracelet, the moon side, receiving energy, versus the right hand, the side as the sun, giving energy. You can wear as a bracelet, just like that. Also, I don't know how you use your mala for meditating. Keep it simple, sweetheart. But it should be in the right hand. There's a correct way to do it in the right hand. You never want to touch the mala with your index finger. That's known as the evil finger or the ego finger. So you simply can place the mala in your right hand, in the palm of your hand, with the tassel facing down. And you can start with the mantra or your intention. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be Sanskrit. A lot of mantras are traditionally Sanskrit, but you can start with a beautiful, simple English word like love, or I am worthy, or like you said, I am safe, or whatever is maybe lacking in your life that you want to call intention to, or you want to manifest or start to claim. You can start to do the mantra. So I am happy, and then breathing is so important. And you can start to do your mantra, I am happy, and take a breath. And although the mala does have the 108 beads, you don't have to meditate or do the mantra 108 times. You can do it however many times you want, even if you just have time for 2 minutes in your day and you do it maybe 20 times. That is going to be good and very helpful for your life. But I just wanted to show you, like, if you're meditating and you get all the way done with your mantra, what you want to do is take your mala back. You never want to touch it with your index finger, and you never cross the guru bead. Don't cross your teacher, and you take the mala back and can start your your mantra over again. Sorry, on the camera, but take it back. Oops. Tingle.
Yeah, so good. Beautiful explanation.
Yeah, take it back.
So you did it amazingly. I love it.
But the malas, they can be with you. Sometimes they could break. Maybe the string, or a lot of times mala bracelets break. When that first happened to me, I was devastated, and I realized I had so much attachment to the mala. It really made me so sad and so devastated. But then I realized that it's good if your mala breaks, or something, they say that intention or whatever you're working in with your life has been resolved, and that's good. And the good news is, if anything always breaks, you can make it again. So you can take the beads and restring it, cut them, give your mala new life. Sometimes, I don't know if you can see, there'll be the smallest hanging by the last string. I got this mala from my husband when I met him. He inspired me. He was always wearing Rudraksha seeds. And when I met him, I fell in love with him. I said, oh, there's my husband. There's the father of my children. I love him. But we were at different paths. We were yoga teachers, and I went to the yoga training, and he was going to India doing yoga teacher trainings, and we would date here and there. But then he decided to go to India again. He said, I have this amazing opportunity. I'm going to go live in India and teach yoga at an ashram. And I was so happy for him. That's every yoga teacher's dream, right? But at the same time, I was also very sad because I had plans. I thought we would get married and have kids and live happily ever after. But I know he had to go to India to live his dream. So I remember looking at him the moment he told me, and he was wearing this mala, this obsidian mala. And I said, "Can I please have your mala just to remember you by and to think of you?" And I didn't think he would say yes, because I know malas can be um, special or important to you. But he said yes, and he gave this mala to me, and it was just so special to me because I always had it with me, and I would, when he was in India for 2 years living there, I would have it up on my wall, and I had the verse about love. Love is patient, love is kind, and I would always read that verse and look at the mala and just really think about love. And sometimes I would take it down and I would meditate, and my mantra at that time was just love. Just hold the mala and love, love, and think about love. Love is patient, love is kind. Um, think about him, because this has his energy. It was on his body, all the heat, the oil, his energy. So I just always would feel this and connect to it, and just meditate on love and one day being reunited with him. Um, so one day, after a few years of him living in India, and I was teaching yoga all over, he said, "Come visit me in India, and if you do, then I'll come home and we'll get married." So I said, "Oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to India." This was after our training. So this is in 2017. So I took this mala and we went to India, this mala and I, and we met. Actually went to Delhi. We went to Agra, the Taj Mahal. I'm wearing this mala with him at the Taj Mahal, and it was just so beautiful because I just remember for years just having this mala and just meditating on love and just the love that I wanted in my life, just the family I wanted to create. That's what I wanted. So I know that malas can hold that type of power. Um, just like you, I know we made a mala. Share with us what type of love and what you're looking to attract their attentions.
It's I keep my malas in these little seashells. First off, I want to just like, okay, I'm like crying, but just like how beautiful like it is that like you walked by faith and not by sight for like 2 years. You just held this vision in your mind of what it is that you wanted, and just like use that yourself. And I'm gonna first talk about my mala that you made for me, and then I'll talk about this one as well that I just had you make as well. Um, so I asked you to make a mala for me. And after I got divorced, there was, there was a lot of things that happened that were not good. And my obsessive thoughts were very, very, very damaging towards myself. And I couldn't like get them to stop. So I felt completely worthless. And I thought, okay, what's the very opposite of worthless? What's the opposite of somebody who's like broken or shattered or all this stuff? So I just said goddess. And I would just like over and over and over again for months, just be like, I'm a goddess, I'm a goddess, I'm a goddess, I'm a goddess, I'm a goddess. Like I didn't, and at the time I did not feel that way at all. I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like complete and entire, like entirely shattered, worthless, all those things. And when I asked you to make this mala, I said I wanted green because when I did a demonstration on stage right after, my divorce, I did full wheel. It was my first time doing it on stage, and I got full wheel when we were at the training, and I was like I could barely like snatched into it. I was like, oh, I got into it. And then I did it on stage, and I felt completely open and safe in this very, very deep back bend, like wide open, which you usually don't feel very safe in a back bend. And I just imagined this green emerald light just streaming out from my heart. So I asked you to make this green, and then I asked you to make it, and it was perfection. And you're like, I'm calling it the goddess mala. And so like when I heard that, I was like, it just like for me, it just total confirmation of how inspired you are with this energy that you're infusing into it. Like you're using it as a talisman for people and really transferring that. And so I made this one. I asked you to make one for divine masculine, because I think I'm actually ready to receive a divine counterpart. And you called it the Kama Deva, which is the god of love. And at this current red hot 3D moment, I'm also embracing my divine masculine energy in myself and kind of what it feels like to be in kind of God energy instead of goddess energy. Even though it's all just energy, I like to identify the different aspects of it. But yeah, it's on my other nightstand. The goddess mala goes on this nightstand and the god mala goes on this one. And it's this beautiful, beautiful mala that you've made me. And I love that like masculine energy. And that's something I am embracing in myself more, is this divine masculine energy, like action and creation and even like boundaries too. In my mind, I'm like, no, when I assert a boundary, I'm protecting my kingdom. And like instead of as a goddess, we can do that as well. But there is this, sorry, I'm like sidetracking. There's this like kind of emphasis for women to be like always nice and sweet. And so I've been leaning into my divine masculine energy. Is like, how do I take care of my kingdom, all that I've created, all the people, the lovely creatures and everything in my kingdom. But I just love your story of your mala with your husband and how you call that into existence through like your pure faith and just resonating with that. And I've used your mala too. I didn't feel safe after everything that I went through. And so I've used your mala to just like fall asleep at night, just going safe, 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 and just continually implanting that into my subconscious, because we can go outside of ourselves and try and get other people to make us feel safe. But unless we actually like create it inside of ourselves, so it's just never going to be enough. And same with like love and like what you were doing when you were chanting with your mullahs, like I'm loved, love, love, love. And you were infusing that into your entire being for however long that you did that. So it's like creating that inside of ourselves first, and it will be completely reflected outward. And yeah, so I just like, there's so much beauty in this mala for me. And I've just really loved watching you create and all the intention that you put into it and the thought behind it. And I love just suggesting a couple ideas for you of what I want, and then seeing what you create for me, because it's so innately just divine. You're just completely divine and divinely inspired. And I feel like if people are interested in malas, like I love directing them to you, because it is really infused with love. It really is infused with intention. And these objects themselves, why our power is inside of them, like you said, they can be used to enhance that kind of connection, that port key, that talisman to whatever it is that we're calling in itself. So I don't know, I'm like got all teary-eyed with like about like what you were saying. I was like, and I've been feeling, I was like, Laura and I need to connect. Like, we need to connect. We need to talk about this. Like, and I just knew like that this conversation would be very powerful for people. And part of it is the malls itself, but I feel part of it is the magic that you have created in your life. And that's itself. Like you've infused magic in your mala. It's just a form of your expression, but your true power is in your unwavering faith and your belief and who you are. And that just resonates in your entire being. And yes, so.
Oh, thank you. Well, making malas has been so healing for me. I really started it'll be a year ago in July when I tied my first knot. And I just remember it was after my second son was born in June. I was nursing him, and I saw online mala kits, and something in my heart was just like, go get those. order them. So I ordered some mala kits, and I told my husband, I'm gonna make a mala. And he said, What? You're gonna make a mala? And I said, Yeah. He's like, Well, you need to practice. And I said, Fair enough. I'll practice before I like make a real mala. And so I said, I don't know, what should I practice on? He said, Get a ruracha mala and make that. So I got the Ruracha Mala kit, and I am self-taught. I just watched YouTube videos of different mala makers just to see how how to do it. I had no idea what I was doing. And so my first mala, the Ruracha seed mala, I had the string, and the Ruracha seed is so tiny. It has you have to use a special string and a little needle that's attached. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I cut the needle from the string, and then I tried to make the mala, and it was a disaster. It didn't work, and I was so upset. And I was a few weeks postpartum just from having my second son. So my hormones, my emotions were overflowing, and I just started crying. I had this feeling where I was just crying and I couldn't stop because I just wanted to make a mala so bad. And my husband felt so bad for me that I was crying. And so he got me new string, and um, I got the new string and was able to make the Ruracha seed mala successfully. And he was like, "You're very good. Keep going." But I just remember every mala, I just try so hard to just have good energy. It's kind of like doing yoga when you're balancing in those standing postures. If you're not thinking about the posture and your breath and what you're doing, if you start thinking about your life, you're gonna fall out of those postures. And it's same thing with the malas. If I'm thinking about something else and not thinking about the mala or the energy, it just doesn't turn out right. The knot, I could mess up a knot, or I don't know, something happens, always happens. So it's, and making malas, it's healing for me to just focus on that type of energy. And when they say when you're making malas, you're unknotting yourself, you're unknotting those thoughts, the negative thoughts that may come to you. So it's been so healing for me. It's been part of my postpartum recovery, after having a baby, acclimating to two babies. It just was so healing for me. I remember um, it would give me energy, and I would feel so revitalized and so excited to make a mala. I could not wait for my babies to go to sleep. That's when I find is best to make a mala, is when both of the babies are sleeping, um, that I can just focus and be so excited to make malas. And when my son was first born, new moms are typically tired. You're up all the time feeding the baby. And so moms would ask me, "Aren't you tired?" And I would say, "No, I'm not. I feel so good because I would just have so much energy, just like doing yoga, so much energy from making these malas." So it's been so wonderful for me and so healing for me. And now, um, just having people like you say, "Oh, I want to make this mala, and I want, these stones or this type of energy." And so when I know that, that's what I feel too. When we were making that jade mala, and jade represents love, the heart chakra, green, unconditional love. That's exactly what I was thinking about the whole time. I'm like, this is Jordan. She is love. She's unconditional love. And um, I keep channeling those energies when I'm thinking about mala or thinking about a person that I'm making the mala for. So I'm, meditating on that too. But essentially, I feel like the energy that's infused is going to come from the end person, the person that actually has the mala. Um, I'm just making the mala, but at the end, when the person gets the mala, you're going to infuse it with your energy, your intentions, your heat, your oil, and it's going to be so much more powerful. But um, I just love hearing stories like you, how malas can heal people and bring different intentions into your life.
Mhm. Well, I feel like it's like this like a co-creative process. And even if you're creating a mala prior to somebody actually receiving it, because we know time doesn't exist, it's like your awareness is like going forward in time to like match the energy of the person who's going to receive it, even if you don't know it. Like your infinite awareness knows, and you're already starting to create that process. And I love what you said about I just needed to do it. And these desires will originate into us like it's a calling, and it's calling for us, and it's like inspired action that you were like, I'm going to get a mala kit. And that's how I feel about certain things in my life too. And sometimes we hold ourselves back because we're like, nobody trained me to do this. I don't have the certain things. Like maybe I'm not good enough for this. And that's how I kind of felt about tarot. Is I just started one day and I was like, and it really started to come very natural to me, meaning like when we're in the flow of something, yes, we're going to have to put in what I want to say, like, I don't want to say effort or labor, but we'll put in the time and the repetition like you did and persevere towards it. But it will feel what like the Buddhists say is wu wei, like the effortless way. Like we're still adding energy into it, but it will almost feel effortless, and it will be this like joy in the process. And that's how I feel about tarot or like yoga or advanced class 84. Like I was exerting all this energy, but it felt like effortless. And like you said, it was just constantly pouring energy into it. And when you're in the flow of your calling and what you feel really aligned to, I feel that too. I can get in these creative portals and just run on prana. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I've been like, or, oh, I forgot, like, I need to go get lunch. Like, oh, like, you lose all concept of time and space. And what you said too in this process of focusing on the malas themselves, you're transforming consciousness through that deliberate focus and intention. I love what you said about as you unknot these limiting beliefs or samskaras, these habitual patterns in ourselves. And there's so many ways or techniques or tools that we can use to do that. I've unknotted myself through yoga nidra and subliminals. That's something I really resonate with. And even through tarot, because I sit there and I'll do a reading and I'll just kind of reflect. I won't take it as like, this is final. This is what I'll just be like, okay, what's coming through for me right now? How do I need to shift? And I love that you've intentionally done that through your meditation on these malas themselves, and just how much it is a transformation of consciousness that you've infused in this object. And like you said, I love what you said, like the heat and the oil, and how we can use objects to enhance and kind of, even though the powers inside of ourselves, like you said, enhance that. But I love this process of you explaining, I just needed to do this. I just needed to do this. And I was terrible at first, but I just kept going. And that's how I feel about my yoga practice. I was like, if as far as like being like a person who was flexible or strong, like I was not those things, but I was like, I just need to be here. And I just kept showing up, and I just kept showing up and persevering. And I think that is also a hallmark of both of us. Like in terms of our yoga practice, we just keep showing up and enjoying and showing up and enjoying and constantly feeding that energy back in, and doing it from a place of enjoyment. And when we can focus our mind on things. It's funny because last summer I just started making just casually like mala bracelets at the park.
Aw.
Because there was like so much going on, and I found too that I wanted to be outside, and when I couldn't really read in the park very well, and I would just like be making malas with my friend Luba and her son would make them too, and it just became this very like, we would just sit there and talk and just make them, and just like the little bracelets themselves. And like you said, when something breaks too, and or we'd be stringing something and then it would like fall off and be like, oh shit, and I'm like, but what do? You just remake it. You just like, so it is the same thing with yoga. We're continually like practicing and moving forward because we're just always expanding. Like the universe is constantly expanding. We're always constantly expanding itself. And I love what you said too about if the mala breaks, like the healing's been complete. And I had this bracelet that I got in Costa Rica in 2009 from Brandy Lynn, and they said when the healing's complete, the bracelet will break. And I did this plant medicine journey last summer, and it released a lot of stuff. And afterwards I was like, I didn't even know that it happened, and I had this bracelet and I realized it had broken on the floor, and it was so symbolic, like during that experience itself. So the universe just loves giving these little synchronistic ways of, sending us messages in malas, messages in, in magic. I love it so much. So,
Yeah, and nothing is a coincidence. I feel like, people always wonder, how do I choose a mala, or, how do I get a mala? And I think that's different for every person. I feel like most malas will call to you, maybe you'll see one, maybe like the colors will resonate to you, or I know sometimes even like words, words are so powerful. Like if I post a mala, to show people. I know some people have said, well, this mala you said was good for depression. And, I know someone that's struggling with depression. So I want to give them this mala, or anxiety, or um, insomnia, different things like that. So when people get these malas and they know that, hey, this is going to help me with feeling better, with sleeping better, just having something to hold on to and look at, and just know subconsciously that it's a positive thing in their life, and that they can overcome that is just so powerful. Um, it's just blown my mind, and just been so healing just to see that work in people's lives. Just these little malas, and people will come to me saying, they don't know all the stones. So they say, oh, I want to attract love, or joy, or peace. So there's many different stones. So it's been fun to just see what people like with the colors, and then putting those together in the malas. I do have boards now, so we can lay them out and play with different designs. I think just malas that are simple with just one color, or one type of stone, one type of bead, is beautiful as well. So there's many different ways to find a mala. I know some people have said to me, I've been waiting years for the right mala, and then they see one, and then they just know that that's their mala.
mhm.
So, and there are no coincidences. I know you wanted, for the Kamadeva mala, you said to me, smaller beads. And it was so funny because I get different beads that I order for different malas, and I tell where I get my beads from, my mala guru. I said, just send me some beads, surprise me, because I'm trying to just learn what all the different beads are or gemstones I can work with. So I got sent those little tiny red jaspers. And I thought, what am I going to do with that? And then you wrote me and said, I want a mala, and I want it to be these colors, like the sunflower and the earth, the red, the brown, the yellow. And that immediately popped into my mind, this red jasper. I'm like, well, they're tiny, and it's all the colors you've been looking for. And you loved it. And
And
yeah,
then
with
you added the blue as well too.
a little lapis lazuli. That was you. You said, I wanted blue. And so I said, oh, I got lapis lazuli. Let's put that there.
Because it's like it's for me, it's like the Mary, like Mother Mary, that kind of energy as well too, infused in it. It's just amazing. I'm just tickled. I get so tickled by all your creations. And sometimes, even though I don't need another mala, I go look on your Etsy page anyway, just to like see what's going on, because like I think it's each mala is completely unique, just like each of us are completely unique, and each of the way that we create in this world is completely unique. So your blueprint for creating your magical life is completely different from mine, and like just the representation of the object itself as an embodiment of like, this is your unique power, this is like your unique way of connecting to yourself, and it's just a way to like physically embody that magic, and I love it so much. So
You're
yeah.
so right. It's so amazing how each mala is unique in their own way. It's like, even if I do two jade malas that would maybe be like the exact same, they're still going to look a little bit different. Each stone is different, and you can change up the energy with the different string or knots, or even the tassel or guru bead. So yes, each mala is like every person, all unique in our own way. And has the ability to heal. I loved your video with Emmy talking about, yeah, you absolutely can heal your life, and anything that's going on, it can be resolved. And if you have a mala that maybe you've had for a long time, and maybe it just doesn't resonate with you anymore, maybe you don't want it, don't throw it away. You're not supposed to do that, but you can give it back to the earth. They say you can, put it on a tree, or I've even put some in the plants, like succulents or flowers. You can even restring it, like cut every bead and then restring it, and make it new, or give it to somebody else and give it new energy. Um, but you're not supposed to throw it away. So
Yeah, I've
keep
used
it.
I actually received an old mala from one of my students, and I cut it, and it was broken, and I cut it up and used some of the beads and different like little bracelets. But I love how you said like you like plant things, because I thought I was the only one that like I have this like little rose bush out here, and I'm sure if we like dug into it, it was like, there, there's like rolled up paper, like spells tucked in there, and like other things as well, like me giving it to the earth too. So I get tickled that somebody else does these like kind of like little, yeah, I don't know, just like these kind of things as well too, like because nothing's ever lost, all is always found, and the earth is the master recycler of everything too. But I love that, in gifting in a way, allowing somebody else to have that new energy infused in it as well. You're just so incredibly special and like intuitively connected with things, and yeah, just love that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, in working with malas, it's just really helped me to stay focused on those intentions, positive intentions, and making sure, when I'm making a mala, I want it to have good vibrations. I want to raise the vibration. So yeah, when someone gets it, they feel it and they see it and they know. So just raising the vibration, and just knowing that, I love what you said, is life supposed to be a struggle? I don't think so. Maybe it can be beautiful and wonderful and happy, and just getting back to that consciousness that you can be happy, you are loved, you are worthy, you deserve everything that you want in your life. And
Yeah.
all those things can come to you, just claiming it.
Hmm. I just like recorded a video yesterday about that like in terms of this concept of like original sin, meaning that there's something inherently wrong with us, so we constantly need to struggle or fix something or prove we're worthy or this or that, when really we're loved unconditionally. The universe loves us unconditionally. We are, if you want to say that we're God, or if you want to say that we're in the essence of God, or we are the universe, or we're our source, however you want to phrase it, or a droplet of the universe, like you're loved unconditionally, and you can have exactly what you want exactly as you are here and now. And that's the beautiful message, like that you're worthy of that abundance, that love, exactly as you are here and now, that there's really nothing you need to change about yourself. Like you can receive everything as you are here now, and we can continually expand and grow. But 10 years ago you were worthy of all your desires then and there, and now you are too. That there's nothing that you have to prove, that you're unconditionally loved by the universe. And I think that's the thing that I have been learning for myself, and it's really infused in our society. It's infused in a lot of different religions. It's infused in a lot of just even the messages that we get from programming and TV, like, do this thing and then you'll get this, or do this and this person will like you. But this idea of like you're inherently right and wonderful exactly as you are. And that's been the biggest message for me. And like you said about struggle, um, I grew up with almost this concept of, to struggle is like, if you're struggling, if you're working hard, then it's like good, then it's good. But is it? do we have to accept that? We accept the meaning to everything. So now I just want to live a life of grace and ease. Even if I am working, I want to be in that woo way, that effortless way of moving with the flow of the water instead of against it. Like the river can flow and still create beautiful things and give life to everything, but it's flowing with it. It's not gonna, like, if there's a tree in the middle of the it's gonna go around it. And why not? Why do I have to push through everything? No, I can just go around it easy and gracefully. So I love that you called that to mind as well. But we are loved unconditionally, and the biggest secret to getting exactly what we want is to know that you can get exactly what you want exactly as you are here and now.
I love that. I wanted to ask you, how do you like to meditate? Do you have like a little
I was
ritual
trained,
you do?
I do transcendental meditation, and I love words, a lot of words, but and I will lead meditations for my students, but when I meditate for myself, I just use the mantra that I received in transcendental meditation. And I'll just say that over and over again. Or, I'll choose particular words too, like uh I have done like Sanskrit meditations before, but I do like saying like safe or love. I have used the mala to be like, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, like over and over again, that repetition. But I'll usually wake up in the morning and sit here straight out of bed first thing in the morning. And then, my mala is in the shell next to it, and just start to move through it. And I am regards to like wearing the mala around, I know some people say like it should be covered up or this, but I'm okay to like have it uncovered. But I just try and always be mindful of like not putting it on the ground, or like just keeping it as just because it's special to me, and just taking care of it in a way, and not necessarily getting too particular on how I take care of it, just being like, it's my mala. I know how to take care of it. I know what it wants. I know what it wants to be shown off a little bit. Yeah, of course it does. But also like I am gonna treat it with like loving intention and care. But that's really like how I will use my mala. And then some days when I feel like I want to just kind of boost the energy, I'll just wear it around. It's just very this intuitive process, at least with the mall itself, because I did grow up in very like structured ways of being. And this mall is very unique to me, which is grace and ease. So we use it in a grace and ease kind of way. And but it's been infused with like a lot of love. And like I said, I've even pulled it in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep and just mantraed myself to sleep. And like that's really like special, because like you said, like you can use your physical body to connect to something and to connect to the words, and like every time you're saying it's like safe, worthy, love, like it just like feeling that connection into itself. So anyway.
That's so beautiful. I love how you do that. I use mine very similar. I like to face the east when I meditate. Just the sun rises from the east. It has a lot of power. I don't have a lot of time because usually the boys are running around screaming, but so I usually don't get 108 in, but I try to get at least 20 or more. I think wearing malas are so important too, just because, if you're thinking about your mantra, your intention, and then people, see the mala on you, you're probably going to get compliments. People always love malas, and then it makes you feel good and it thinks about your intention. Also, when, you're meditating and saying your intention, I like to say it out loud. Sometimes, obviously, spacing wise, you want to meditate quietly, but saying it out loud is always good to claim it. You hear it, you hear the vibration, and the vibration gets into the mala as well. I feel like that's very powerful. A lot of people say, oh, it's so pretty, they just want to hang it up and just look at it, which is beautiful too. But I feel like malas, they want to be used. They want to help you in your life. They want to be worn. Don't be scared to wear it wherever. Don't be scared that it's gonna break. My little babies, they are always playing with this, always chewing on it, and they love it too. So, your mala is going to connect you to so many different things and so many different people. Um, and you can just use it for so many different beautiful ways.
That's beautiful.
Oh,
Well,
I was gonna say one more thing. Have you ever like done anything to cleanse your mala, like a full moon cleanse or anything like that?
I have a selenite slab next to my bed, and I'll put crystals and I'll put my mala on it as well. I do like the full moon stuff and like I got you, girl. It's but I on the daily I'll either keep it in this little shell or I'll put it on a selenite slab to recharge it. And selenite's really good for cleansing and purifying other crystals or other things that are infused with energy as well. So good at neutralizing that too. Sometimes with it's not on me right now, but I'll sometimes wear this. I have a Siberian greens quartz and I'll run it under cold water and hot water when I feel like that's been kind of maybe clouded with other people's aura or energy itself. And I was thinking too, this past year with physical distancing, our auras are 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 6, depending on the strength of our aura, feet. That's how much it gets projected out, or even bigger. But with physical distancing this past year, we haven't been in each other's auric fields, which in some ways, for some people, I think has been beneficial. And for some people, it's been a disadvantage. And this is why I will say it, because I think if you are resonating in a little higher vibrational space and you're not taking in lower vibrational energy, I feel like a lot of people have been able to really ascend from that. But then those who, maybe have been struggling or whatever, aren't in training, and not in a bad way. They're not just receiving that vibrational energy from some of the, I want to say like, higher auric fields or what have you. And this is kind of a segue or like a statement. I was completely alone for 40 days during the the first lockdown. I mean, I saw people like deliver stuff, but nobody knew what was happening. And at first I was like, oh, that was really hard. And then I was like, well, actually, Jesus fasted for 40 days, right? And I then thought to myself, what if this was just an energetic fast for me to completely reset my auric vibrational field and to have that completely cleansed out? Because I have felt this past year, I've been able to really excavate a lot of stuff and just move forward in a lot of ways. So I completely reframed that whole thing to I wasn't alone. I was fasting for 40 days. And sometimes when we fast, it doesn't feel necessarily wonderful in the moment, but it is this like cleansing and this purification process. So I've taken them because we get to assign the meaning to everything. So I've taken that meaning and said, oh no, this is an auric fast for 40 days that I did. But all that being said is, like you said, that energy can be projected out. And in terms of our own energy, it's not protecting ourselves from other people's energy. Like how I like to think of it is like, if I continually like push my aura out, that love gets projected out and just envelops everybody else in it. That I'm very good at going tangential, but yes.
I feel it. I feel it from you. Yeah, the past year, just seeing all of how you've been sharing through social media and online, it's been for me so inspiring. When I see you or Mallory, doing your back bends or your yoga, I'm like, that's so inspiring. I gotta go do my back bends. Or, just seeing how other people like live their lives like that. I feel like, yeah, it's really elevated that and it helps to inspire so many other people. It's definitely inspired me. So thank you. And I love how you're just sharing all of this content through your videos. It's really inspiring and nice to know that there's other people that think like that and that are elevating the vibration and healing and growing and changing and are happy, because I think this life we're supposed to be happy. You get one life, so we need to be happy. We need to heal. We need to just do everything we want to do in this life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get one life.
Yeah, joy is our birthright, and that's something that I've had to learn and shed all the other skins that were put on top of me that created that separation, that illusion of separation from ourselves, that illusion that we're meant to struggle, but really joy is our birthright. And I'm not one for like spiritual bypassing. I've sat with my shadows, I feel my emotions, I allow myself to cry. And I think you're the same way too. But even when we're crying or upset at something, that's still being essentially in our joy, because it's being really authentic and innate to ourselves. And yeah, I don't know how else to explain that beyond words, but I think it is important that, yeah, we're here to have joy. We're here to live in joy. We can work in joy. We can do all those things in an element of joy itself and still be very authentic to the human experience that we're having. But if we're constantly attuned and fixed and looking towards joy and stepping into our joy and knowing that joy is our birthright, then we'll never, even in our darkest moments, having that remembrance of what is meant for us. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. And using molluscs to help claim that and to help heal. They're so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah, I love that. And what you said, if a person is repeating a mantra like love back and forth, they're infusing that word into their being and their essence. And one person in love, I think, can entrain 500,000 souls, meaning that they can elevate 500 other people in the world just through their intention and level of consciousness itself. So that's so beautiful, because you infused my mala with like goddess love energy, and I use that to create love. And the more that I love myself, that's really like 500,000 people that get to benefit from that energetic exchange. So one mala is helping 500,000 souls, if you really think about it like that. So yes, I just love you so much.
I love you. It's been such an honor. It gives me so much joy. Anytime someone's like, I want a mala, I'm like, okay, yes, let's do it. What do you want to work on? What's your intention? It's just so beautiful. It heals me. It's so beautiful. I
Well,
love it. It gives me so much joy.
before we close, do you want to let people know how they can get in touch with you? And yeah.
Yes, you can email me on social media. Instagram is Satya G Malas. Facebook, Laura Gagnon. My email is lauraGagnonyoga@gmail.com or satyagmalas@gmail.com. Or you get in touch with Jordan,
Yeah.
she'll get in touch with me.
She's also on my website under the Cosmic Creator section as well, which is, people that I love and support with their authentic work that they're doing.
Yes.
So I love you. I value you. I accept you. We are limitless. So mote it be as I speak it, I create it, and sealed with a kiss.
Beautiful.
Love you.
Love you.